Hello.
Hi, Danny.
Hi.
Oh my gosh, it's such an incredible honor speaking with you. Like for a second, I just I just kind of want to like do a Wayne's World moment and just like bow down. You say, I am not worthy.
Thank you so much. Wow. What a great way to wake up. You made my day. Thank you.
Oh wow, you're just waking up. I know I'm not usually a morning person, but I was like, I'm just gonna be as chipper as I can, having some like ice mocha. So Halloween is just around the corner, and
Yes.
also the double shows that you'll be having. Let's talk about your Bay Area show at Shoreline that is happening on Sunday, November 3rd. The Danny Elfman from Boingo to Batman to Big Mess and beyond. And I really like that you shared on Instagram the video that Shoreline did where they're trying to get tickets for your show, and then a box office attendant was like, and what show is this? And they pans over and they're all dressed up as Tim Burton characters. Like, obviously, they're there to see Danny Elfman.
That's so funny.
It's definitely going to be a dead man's party because you are encouraging attendees to dress up Dia de los Muertos, also known as Day of the Dead.
It is Halloween. What can I say? It's like me and Halloween, we cannot escape each other. This is literally for 17 years, every year, it's like Oingo Boingo at a Halloween show. And then after Oingo Boingo, I finally got to just go out on Halloween and trick or treat and be a normal civilian. And then I started doing the Elfman Burton shows and the Nightmare Before Christmas live. And suddenly I was performing every Halloween again. And now I'm back with this show. And sure enough, it's Halloween again. So I finally have just relented to going, okay, Halloween time is when I'm going to do something.
Right. I actually did see the Tim Burton orchestra that you did at Stanford, which was really incredible. What would you say is your favorite Halloween memory?
Favorite Halloween memory? Wow. That's a good one. I remember particular one Halloween when my daughter Molly was probably around 15. She was at that kind of sensitive age. And, we went out every year, but that year I really went all for it. I made myself into pure Quasimodo makeup with the hunchback. I got a lower eye, about 2 inches down lower, my right eye than my left eye. And I looked really grotesque with a wig, and I put myself on a rope. And my daughter, of course, was a princess or whatever, she was. And the idea is that, she would hold me on the rope and I would make sounds towards other kids and she would jerk me back. We'd planned it out, but when we actually got out there, I felt so bad because she was like, Dad, Dad. And I realized, oh my God, it's almost like a year too late now to do this. She's feeling like self-conscious about it, and all of a sudden I'm like Quasimodo going, I'm sorry, Molly. I don't want to make you uncomfortable. We don't have to do that this year. That was a real funny one. We both laugh about that, the Quasimodo year.
I love that you're staying in character. And I did hear, I think Disney, they're trying to do a live action of the Hunchback of Notre Dame. So, I mean, I love the 90s one. I grew up with that. So hopefully it's just as good. The concert is it's the scores of your life's work, and it's going to be a special career spanning performance of us being transported to all the amazing stuff that you've done within your band, your solo career, of course, the TV film scores that we're obsessed with, and hopefully you kind of throw in a couple of remixes from Bigger and Messier, and as well as new music from Beetlejuice Beetlejuice.
Well, it's a little bit of everything. It's a total mishmash of my life. It's kind of a show I put together for Coachella a couple of years ago, which made no sense whatsoever, but people seem to like it. So it's kind of divided into thirds. It's a 1/3 Boingo Boingo music, 1/3 new music, 1/3 film music and TV and film related music. And it's all kind of mashed together, but it's a really intense, crazy show. And I do warn people, it may not be the one to bring your kids to. It's loud. It's not the same as going to Nightmare Before Christmas, where I would tell everybody to bring their kids.
Yeah.
Um, this is mostly a rock show. And so, it's going to be pretty intense and fun.
I would say, bring the kids. This is going to be a rock show. It's rock in training. And I was jealous of Coachella because it's like, wait a minute, he gets to play down there. Like, when are we going to see this show in the Bay Area? And again, it's happening on November 3rd at Shoreline. And speaking of the sequel to Beetlejuice, can you share the process of doing the music for the sequel? Was it similar, different, any changes that you made back from 1988?
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of divided into here's the sections that's new with this new character played by Monica Bellucci and that stuff, and talked about the tone. But then there's the half of the film that is really just Beetlejuice. And that really locks right back into the original score. And of course, for me, that was pure heaven because I never, ever expected I would get to do more versions of that music, which I really loved doing so much. So it was just total unexpected blessing. I mean, no one's ever done anything like that over 30 years later for a sequel, not a reboot, but a sequel. Because, usually if it's more than 5 years later after a film, it's a reboot, or certainly after 10 years, it's a reboot. It's going to be a different film, probably a different cast, different everything. But a sequel after, 33 years or something? It's insane. But it was so much fun. I was so excited when they announced it, and getting to dive into that musical playground again was really just heaven.
I mean, I'm 30 years old, so I was waiting for a long time for the sequel to be out. And I actually watched it with my mom. And one of the things I noticed was like, oh my gosh, when I die, I have to still continue working. So when you pass, and if there is an afterlife similar to the spirit world that we see in Beetlejuice, would you still want to keep your title as a film and TV music composer, or would you like to do something else?
Well, I mean, if I get that world correctly, I'm not going to have much choice. I'm just be given a lot of like weird afterlife films to score, and with the same afterlife deadlines and the same afterlife stress and everything that we went through, for all these years. So I don't think anybody's going to give me a choice. I mean, at least that's from what I pick up from the afterlife world. It's like you continue doing what you've always done, like it or not. It's just going to be the same. I guess that's what I got to look forward to.
Okay, I guess there's no need for you to be a special effects makeup artist. 'Cause I think that was something that you were interested younger before you got into music.
Well, actually, I love the idea of working in film at all, but I thought maybe I would be a cinematographer or an editor or, something like that. And so I don't know, maybe after, I'm dead, I'll come back and they'll say, hey, you can be a director of photography now. And I'll go, yes, thank you. That's what I always wanted.
And I'm sure, can you tell us during this concert, are we going to see tribute to your friends, Paul Reubens and Ken Page?
Well, Paul Reubens, there's definitely a tribute to because we play a piece from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. In the show when I'm doing Nightmare coming up, which is next week in Monterrey, Mexico, on actual Halloween, we'll definitely be doing a tribute to Ken, who I miss terribly. I'm not sure, because we don't do that piece of music in the show about, BBB&B that we're doing. I don't know quite how I'm going to do that. We only do like a sweet from Nightmare, but I'm so, so, so sad about Ken. And yeah, that was such a surprise out of the blue.
And I want to know your reaction when your good friend, longtime collaborator, director Tim Burton finally got his Hollywood star.
Don't know if Tim takes that stuff very seriously, but I'm happy for him.
And we know his thoughts on not doing a sequel to Nightmare Before Christmas. What about you? Do you think that there should be another story to be told with Jack, Sally, and the rest of Halloween Town?
I don't know. I basically agree with Tim. I think, he did it and it is what it is and it was what it was. And I don't know that it should be kind of elaborated on. But ultimately, I've agreed with Tim after over all this time. But, he may change his mind. I don't know what he's thinking.
Right? It's going to be another 2 years of music in the making.
Yeah, could be.
And I know that your band, there are musicians that have played with Lady Gaga, Guns N' Roses, Nine Inch Nails. Is the music community so small that everyone just like networks and knows each other?
Yes, I have my drummer and guitarist, Elon Rubin and Robin Fink, are from Nine Inch Nails. And it is a small community. You know, the original band from Coachella, the drummer was Josh Freese, and Josh and Robin came in. But there was a period where Robin was replaced at Coachella by Wes Borland from Limp Bizkit. And, you know, they're just musicians who are great. And I just love working with all of them. But when Josh Freese went over to join Foo Fighters, oh, we need a new drummer. And Elon knew that Robin was already doing my show, and Elon immediately put up his hand and said, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. And I'd seen Elon play with Nine Inch Nails, and he didn't even have to audition. You know what I mean? It was kind of like, yeah, absolutely. I'm more than excited. So I don't know what to say. It is kind of a small community, and these are musicians that I love and respect. And getting to work with them like this is a dream.
Yeah, I was wondering if there was an audition process, and they have to share the same amount of crazy as you. And speaking of crazy, I know you're a hardworking man. You've worked crazy hours. Like you've done hours like 14 to 16 hours a day working on your numerous projects. And you mentioned earlier how that can be very stressful. How do you check in on your own mental health?
I don't. That's, like, I don't even want to find out. It's too scary to even look at. That's why I've never done therapy. It's like I don't even know if I want to open that door.
I remember you said in an interview that, and I'm sure you informed this to people who want to do music composing as a career, that you have to have the mindset of a musician and as well as a psychologist too.
Well, yes. I mean, because a big part of the job of a film composer is getting inside the head and the psyche of your director. So yeah, it is equal parts just musical ability and also being able to understand and interpret the kind of mental musings of another artist. And so there's a lot of psychology, and you also have to be a little bit of a masochist because it can get very punishing. You know, film schedules and the whole process can be quite brutal depending on the film.
Any other future projects?
Well, right now I'm working on a Dracula movie with French director Luc Besson, Dracula, a love tale. And I'm having great fun, being that, especially this year, I just finished a whole slew of monster music for Universal for their new theme park in Orlando that they're opening next year, Dark Universe. So getting to write Universal inspired monster music earlier in the year, which was tons of fun, to then moving to a Dracula movie. And Dracula, of course, was also a Universal monster character. It's like, it just seemed like two ends of the year made perfect sense with each other, with Beetlejuice in the middle.
Yeah, the Dark Universe sounds like it could be like a dark wave, synth wave music festival.
I know it could be, but it's not. It's pure monster. Yeah, it's really fun. Like monster themed roller coaster that's really insane that I worked on quite a bit for a long time that I think people will really love.
One last thing. What does the Pumpkin King think about pumpkin spice?
I love pumpkin spice. I am at this moment eating my porridge, and in my porridge I put nutmeg and cinnamon and all those pumpkiny stuff. I eat that stuff every day. Cloves, nutmeg, and cinnamon go in my bowl every single day, and those are all pumpkin spices, are they not?
Right, exactly. The true Pumpkin King, Danny Elfman. Again, I'm just so happy to have this like one-to-one moment with you, and thank you for basically making my childhood
Thank
and
you.
making me feel like being weird is totally fine.
It so is. You just don't have to worry about that. You're in good company.
Okay, looking forward to the concert.
Thank you.